Hey, what's good everyone? Welcome to Ice Rink Diaries, local Iceman here, and today we're going to show you how to use the riveter and we're going to repair some rivets on a hockey skate. Alright, what we got here is a Blade Master riveting machine made by Gus Pro. I believe Blade Master bought Gus Pro out years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Nevertheless, we got our riveting machine here, and I got a box here with the dies in it. And right over here we keep the steel rivets as well as the copper rivets on this side. We have various sizes of steel rivets. Today we're going to do a repair on a pair of skates here in the front. It looks like there's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we got like 3 loose rivets in the toe here. So it's going to be a little bit different. Just real quickly to go over the mandrels here. So let me see if I can stand this one up right next to it. So what we have here is 2 mandrels. This one right here is for your heel, and this one's for your toe box. So I got the skate here on this little holder here. And like I said, we got to do some front rivets, so we're going to be using this mandrel here that allows us to get inside. But if we're doing rivets in the toe, in the heel, then we'd be using this mandrel. So what I'm showing you right now is a steel rivet and a copper rivet. The washer goes with the copper rivet. The copper rivet usually typically gets put in the last 2 of the toe of the skate, as well as I'm starting to see that the copper rivets also go in the last 2 at the back of the toe bar right here, or the toe box. So these 2 and these 2 get copper rivets, and the rest of them get these steel rivets right here. And these steel ones are hollow, and they both mount a little bit differently. So I'll show you kind of how they mount here in a minute. But the important thing is that, or the thing to note is that these copper rivets, they get cut to size, and you slide this washer on, and then these things are kind of, you use a die and this thing right here, and you pound it, and it kind of mushrooms the metal out, and that's kind of how it binds. Whereas the copper rivet, I'll show you here in a minute how to copper rivet. The steel rivet. Whereas the steel rivet, it kind of mushrooms out. And I'll go ahead and set up here on the, show you what it looks like here. So to install, we're going to be installing steel rivets. So the steel rivet installer, I guess you call it, die is this one, and it kind of goes right on there, and this one goes on the bottom right there. Let me move this thing out. Then you have the top die right here, and this one goes on top. And our stuff has kind of been beat up, so here we go. Then pretend that this is the skate, and I'm going in through the top of the skate. So if you're looking at the skate this way, this is the steel rivet sticking down. So I'll put the skate on over this mandrel right here. Then I come down with it just like that. Then I'm going to take the camera off here and give you a close-up shot. So I got set in there, and I'm going to rotate the handle. But this time, I gotta keep pressure on it or it's gonna fall out. Slide the handle up, pull it more. There you go. And it doesn't fall out on me. And there you go. So it rolls it out like that. That's a little bit extreme. You don't want to use too big of a rivet and have too big of a mushroom head. Even though you have your insole in there and stuff, if it gets too monstrous, you definitely feel it when you're skating on the skates. Or definitely, it would seem like you would feel it. So we have different length rivets. This is this one here is a smaller one. This one right here is a 1/2 inch, and this one is a 1/15, 16. And again, like I said earlier, the copper rivets are all the same length. You just cut them to length, and they get pounded down to a mushroom. And when I have a skate I'm going to do a copper rivet on, I'll do a copper rivet. It's kind of hard to show you unless I have a skate, so I don't really want to do that right now. So right now we're gonna go ahead and remove these rivets right here. So let's go ahead and do that part. So I'm going to remove these tools here the dies that we're using to install the rivets. Stick them on the side here because I'm definitely going to use them in a minute. As I pull on the skate, I definitely noticed that 1, 2, 3, 4 rivets on this side need replaced, and probably these 3 right here, because when one goes, they all go, and they're all compromised. So I'm going to end up replacing 7 out of the 8 rivets. So first thing I'm gonna do is remove them. I already unloosened the lace all the way down. I mean, sorry bro, it's the only way to get the tongue out and get in there. If I was just doing the heels, I wouldn't have to do that because you get the heel a little easy, but the toe box, we're gonna have to get in there. Now you can't appreciate the smell and the odor and the wetness coming from that skate, so safety first. I'm putting gloves on. End up replacing, if I have to do 7 rivets out of 8, I may end up doing all 8. There's just no point. Be safe than sorry. A little ahead of myself, let's put this thing in here. And again, this is the other side of the die that, as you'll see, the rivet will poke out. So how I line it up is I'm kind of aiming, because I can't see down in there. I know that the bottom of the die is sticking on the other side of this die right here. So I just need to line it up so I know. The last thing I want to do is misalign that die and that point to go through the bottom of the skate. So the bottom of that die, and I'll show you here, I'm going to get it out. Pop, right there, it's done. Alright, I have the boot on the mandrel here in a little closer view. I'm going to line up this rivet with the kind of the top of the die, and I can feel it settle in on the bottom of the rivet and get it pop, and it pops it right out. Easy taking it out so we don't scuff up the blade. I'm gonna line the rivet up. Try it. Yeah, you can tell that one's really loose. And just quick little pop, it comes right up. Okay, so let's do the last front toe rivet right there. Okay, lined up. Alright, it's right. Ooh. Again, you don't want to misalign that little poker things. You don't want to shoot a hole through someone's skates. So there she is, popped right out, as you can see right there. So just like that, I got 4 of them out. Let's do the other 4. This one's on the other side of the camera, so you're not going to be able to see it as well. Again, I'm just line up the top at the top of the rivet, and boom, we're off. What I'll do if I'm sharpening someone's skates and I see a loose rivet or two, I'll just replace it right there. I mean, no questions asked. I may or may not write on that I did. Usually I did, but I'm sorry, usually I do write on the skate tag that I did it, but I won't charge it for it. This guy here will charge, I think it's $1.50 or $2 a rivet. Plus he's getting a skate sharp. It's probably a good idea to get your skates sharpened afterwards. And before we move on, what I'm going to do, so this runner doesn't get all loose and floppy, I'm going to install a few rivets to keep everything lined up. So I think that's a good call. So let's go ahead and get the other 2 dies here. I'm going to start with a 11/16 rivet. And I'm going to feel how much it's sticking out. I think that's a little bit too much. You want enough to where it's going to bite when you roll the rivet, but not so it makes a huge hump that someone's going to feel. Yeah. Going down to 7/16. And I'm going to take my glove off this hand because it's getting caught up. It's just when I put my hand inside the glove, when I put my hand inside the boot, I want a glove. So that's not enough. I need a little bit more. So I think I'm going to go a 1/2 inch from 7/16. And I don't know if I like that. 9/16. Yeah, I think 1/2 inch is where we're going to be at. All right. So I got the rivet in there. It hasn't been rolled over yet. So what I'm going to do is stick it on the riveting jig, whatever you want to call it. We'll get this guy on there. Alright, I got it placed right there. And I bring down the top part, so I line up and I kind of put my finger on top of the rivet and I feel it so it kind of pokes up a little bit. And you can tell it's off a little bit. I want it so it's right over, there you go. It's right over the rivet. And right over the top of the die there. The upper die. You want to make sure it's straight, because if you don't get it straight the first time and you try to rivet it, it's just gonna rivet half, or kind of roll over half the rivet. There you go. So I got in there. I know it's on there. I'm just gonna yank her down. You don't have to hold it. Hold it, it's not gonna do anything. All right, and there you go. Oop, there you go. So let's go ahead and do the second one. Again, with each one, I'm gonna feel how much of the rivet is sticking into the skate. Because as you go from each one to corner, sometimes it changes. You need a longer one or a shorter one. All right, got it where I want it. Let's just rotate it down. There you go. Second rivet. So let's do one more before we take the other ones out, just so we're peace of mind that the runner is not going to be move around. God, these things bounce around so much. I'm going to actually go with 9/16 with this next one. All right, rotate this thing down. Massage this into place. All right, I have some finagling. I got it lined up. There we go. Let me do one more rivet, then we'll pull the other two ones out. Again, these ones are going to be on the back side, so they may not be as easy to see. Let me go ahead and remove my other glove here. At this point, it doesn't matter. Again, I'm putting the rivet, so the rivet's poking up in the air. And I'm rotating the handle down, so I know it's hovering over the head of the rivet. And there you go. So these two still need to be removed, so let's go ahead and remove those. So again, we need this one right here, along with the pointy guy. And let's do the second to the top. I'm gonna, rotate it like this. That way you guys can see a little bit better. I'm gonna rotate this thing down. I may not be able to. There you go. Sorry if I had to rotate that there a little bit. I was trying to rotate it around, but I can't really rotate it around for you guys to see and rotate this handle. So let me just do it right here. There you go. Booyah. So we got 3 more rivets to put in. I'm gonna rotate it around for you to look at while I put it on, but I can't really show you. All right, that's better. Let's do the last 2 here. As long as it's right over the top, I know I'm lined up, so I know I'm off a little bit. Stick it right there. When you hit the crown of that bottom die, the rivet just pops right in the air, just like that. Just line up the top and bottom. There you go, just like that. All right, 2 more rivets to go. Stick with the 9/16 here for that one. There you go. That's too much. That's too much. Half inch. Again, I'm just feeling with my finger below. If I think it's going to be rolled over and provide like a nuisance, then, or not provide a nuisance, be a nuisance, then I try not to make it so fat. All right, so you see how that thing just pops right up there? So it's pretty tall, so I know it's in the center. It's right over the top die. Make sure it's just centered in there as I go. I'm gonna just go down with it. And that's putting the rivet in. We got 1 more to go. We actually got, we got 2 more to go to 2 toes. I'm not quite over it. This toe box is kind of difficult when you're right up in the corner. Oh no, I see it went sideways on me. You know when it's going sideways, you gotta stop right away. Sometimes you may have to rotate the angle of the boot around to make sure that the rivet's straight up and down. I'm getting the feeling that that's not on there straight. Alright, that looks good. Alright, let me switch the camera around and get the one last side right there. Pretty sure I'm right when I want it to be, but I just gotta get this rivet straight. Alright, it looks straight. Let me go down. Oh yeah. There she is right there. Nice and good. Alright, well I think we're good to go here. We got 8 new rivets on this guy's skates. We'll go ahead and sharpen them. It looks like it needs a new edge there. And yeah, so I'll post a couple more videos on some rivets I do. I'll definitely get a video on copper rivets, how we remove them, as well as how we install them. That'd be definitely a good video for the collection there. And we'll just leave it with that. So, like the local Iceman says, stay cool.